Something is with exploring with Tom as he checks out an abandoned mansion that isn't so empty after all. Noises make him want to run away screaming for help, but he also wants to make longer YouTube videos than he normally does, so he pushes onwards.
I'm hoping no one's in here. No one's definitely gonna be in here, so I guess I'll be fine. Wait, what the?
Tom doesn't know what to think when a clown walks out and casually turns down the hall without a single glance his way. The clown begins to rock in place, and exploring with Tom actually starts to feel bad for him, which makes no sense in my opinion, because almost no one would approach a stranger dressed as a clown in a busted mansion. Instead of running away to get help, he decides to offer the clown help himself. He never does actually dial a number, another reason this could be fake.
If I call the police for you, you're gonna get some help, okay? You're gonna get some help. I'm gonna call the police for you right now, okay?
Suddenly, the clown snaps back to reality and rejects Tom's help with a look that makes him take off.
Yo, I'm gonna help you.
In my opinion, this final response is what he should have done all along. Three bankers have a conversation during a slow day when the silhouette of a child darts across the empty lobby. Watch this part and try to translate what is said immediately after. The lobby area gets plenty of sunlight, and yet the figure looks completely covered by shade. Not a single detail is visible as it runs by, which makes this CGI or a shadow person. And when they go over to where it just was, nothing is there at all. You never hear the door open or any footsteps. It's simply gone. A man is all by himself when he hears a wild animal tearing through his home. Eventually, he corners it in the bathroom and cautiously enters with a camera. This is what he records moments before running away to call the police. A wide-eyed humanoid slowly straightens out while eyeing him with a calm expression. Like the uploader says, it's hard to tell if this was a human or not, and everything from genetic experiments to the rake has been suggested in the comments. Is this video real? And if so, what do you think it was? A YouTuber named Steve Huff records what he suspects could be a paranormal sighting. At the Longleat House in England, built in the late 1500s, a spirit descends the steps and then continues to walk in midair in heavy, plodding footsteps. Some people are claiming that this is some kind of hologram projection, while others say this is real. If you've ever been to the Longleat House in England, then let us know if this is just a tourist attraction, so we can settle the rumors once and for all. This video was taken by a Redditor's father while they were walking around an old historic building. He claims to have been all alone in the room, and according to the Redditor, their father is a very serious man who doesn't lie about such things. So even though he is alone, he records someone standing next to him in the reflection of the case. They cross behind him and then suddenly are gone. And when he looked back at the video, he saw the arm and blue shirt of someone standing in front of him. I guess this video would be easy enough to stage. I don't think the Redditor would lie about something like this though. Perhaps if this historic building had CCTV, then we could possibly get another angle of this event to finally solve the mystery. A YouTuber named Exploring with Perks is checking out an old abandoned home with one of the creepiest basements he has ever seen. Possible remains rest outside of an old hole in the wall, with the rest of the body possibly on the other side. And later on, he finds the remnants of what I hope is just a stuffed animal. Then he gets out fast. I can't say I blame him. This old VHS footage was taken by construction workers during an interior renovation project in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's daytime and well lit, and the building still has a constant eerie vibe. They claim to have seen the ghost of a girl walking across the property, and the air grew cold around them, even though they are in the south. One of them records this mysterious noise coming from the hallway. It sounds like a moan from behind. Take a listen. He calls out for his friend Tom and picks up a strange whispering noise as he turns.
Hey, Tom!
He pauses outside of an especially dark room and feels watched by a presence within, a force that strips him of his bravery and leaves him small and vulnerable. He sees movements and bolts down the hall. I think I can see the outline of something in the corner here when the room is brightened. Could this be the ghost girl they were talking about? He decides to take one last look in the room and cautiously peeks inside. Rushing footsteps come from within and send him screaming off the job site. This footage comes from India, where a woman is seen cleaning up at a sink. Suddenly, a dark figure appears behind her and gives her a hard shove from behind. She turns around only to find the room empty and hurries away. According to a team of ghost hunters, this house in San Pedro, California has long been haunted by poltergeists who like to open cupboards, throw plates, change television channels, and linger in certain rooms until a mother and her 2 children felt uncomfortable enough to leave. A lot of events happened before the ghost hunters became involved and therefore were never recorded, but it wasn't uncommon for red liquid to drip from the walls of this haunted home for no explainable reason. Here is a quick clip of this happening in real time before the team's very eyes.
Everyone just left except us. Things are starting to drip out of the cabinets. Nobody believes us, but it's happening.
There it is.
There it is, right there. It's dripping.
Eventually, the ghosts drive the mother and her children out of the home, and the ghost hunters volunteer to stay there and investigate for several months. One day, they hear 3 loud snapping noises coming from the attic and send a man named Barry to investigate. As he later recalls, something was up there waiting for them.
Are you okay, buddy? God, look at his neck. Chef, what's behind your neck?
I don't know what's on my neck.
A piece of rope. Barry, get down.
Barry comes back down distraught and confused, now missing his glasses. Some kind of cord is wrapped around his neck, and he insists that something had tried to choke him upstairs in the attic. The investigation was called off not long after, out of a concern for the team's personal safety. A YouTuber named Joseph Chansuom is absolutely positive that a ghost has been playing tricks on him, so he sets up a camera to record his apartment at night, since that's when the majority of his otherworldly interactions have occurred. It's past 1 in the morning when orbs begin to dash wildly overhead like fireflies. Then something turns on the bathroom lights and puts the faucet on full blast. Soon the door shuts by itself, and maybe it's just me, but I think I hear a really weird noise after it closes, kind of like a sigh. Listen to this and let me know if you hear it too. So anyway, Joseph wakes up after a while and he hears the sink running. He immediately checks all around his bathroom, only to find it's completely empty. It's important to note that I didn't see any editing cuts between when the sink turned on and when he checked the room. If this is fake, it's very convincing. Here's another video of the sink on a different night, this time taken in front of a mirror to show that no one was around. Joseph eventually moved away before the paranormal tampering could escalate into something more dangerous. After multiple nights of getting no sleep and experiencing a deep sense of dread, this person sets up multiple cameras to record exactly what happens to them at night. When they check out the cameras the next day, they find this strange encounter. A faint shadow appears to linger above them for a moment before fading away. It has an unnatural shape and almost seems to reach out at them. This video could be fake because this person was sleeping with their lights on, which is strange. But then again, maybe they were just trying to make sure there was plenty of light to catch the ghost on video. Some people have even suggested that this person was having an out-of-body experience during REM sleep. A woman appears to be obviously distressed and possibly possessed as she apparently coughs up red liquid during a ritual exorcism. She coughs and gags until the front of her shirt is covered in a crimson liquid bubbling forth from her mouth. She spits out the red liquid again and again. The man chants over her and jumps up and down with her until she stops speaking in tongues and appears to calm down. The audience claps and the video ends. Get Out, published by Ratatat MC channel. in October of 2021 and originally posted to Twitter by @HAYATIJTS. This is the creepiest witch who ever appeared on camera. The video shows an old woman in tattered clothing with long gray hair moaning on the ground of her shack. Her face is what's so scary about this. You can't make out any features but a great gash for a mouth.
Astagfirullahaladzim. Bang Anton, jangan terlalu dekat. Bang Anton, mundur, Bang Anton.
As this brave woman steps away, the witch springs out from her shack, crouched down low. She crawls creepily on all fours across the ground toward the woman. The woman appears to be doing some martial arts toward the witch, preparing to defend herself. The witch then gets the better of her, casting a spell her way. This throws the woman on her side, and she sounds like she's choking, but she rights herself. The witch then casts another spell, throwing her back again. The woman is really straining this time. The witch may have won this battle, but will she win the next? I guess it's this woman's decision if she'll ever return here again. Remember when you used to pretend that your stuffed animal was alive? Perhaps it was all along. Published by The Bottom Line in March of 2022, this video, credited to Lachina Nicole on Facebook, is trending in the Hindi-speaking YouTube community. While sitting in the living room watching TV, this group noticed that something else was watching. Keep an eye on that teddy bear. After a moment, its left leg moves in an obvious way. A second later, it moves again and continues to. One of the friends on the couch finally notices it. Now all three are watching. After examining it and finding nothing unusual about the teddy, they are all on the couch again, when a camera at another angle catches a dark object falling behind him. Or is it a shadow?
Sí, de reojo. Mira, sí, sí viste, eso sí. Eso sí.
They all get up to look, and as they're looking, a statue standing on a table is slammed to the ground. Then the teddy bear falls from his perch. As they struggle to open the door to escape, a backpack flies off the table, and a pillow from the couch somehow flies in between them on their way out. Once outside, a large picture falls from the wall, and the backpack and teddy both move around again. This is absolutely crazy poltergeist activity unfolding before our very eyes. What is causing it? Could it be these orbs? Or something else altogether? Is this cat talented? Or is it possessed? Published by Darrell Zand in May of 2012, this couple captured their cat acting out of character, crawling between the upper door frames near the ceiling like some crazy trapeze artist. As the couple is filming, a mysterious, vibrant blue streak flies toward the camera. The cameraman sees it in the moment and comments on it.
Now that was weird.
Was that a ghost orb? Some in the comments certainly think so, but most think the cat was scared beyond measure, not possessed. The cat even appears to watch the strange orb as it flies across the room. What do you think? Scared, possessed, or something else altogether? No one's getting any sleep in this room tonight. Published by Amma Media Channel in April of 2022, a woman is trying to catch some Z's in bed when a poltergeist takes over the room. First, it causes this baby swing to jerk around erratically, which wakes the woman up. She gets up and holds it still, which it is for a moment, but then it starts to swing like crazy again. The woman seems to think it's the wind. She checks the window. When the chair is still again, something flies from off the top of the wardrobe. A moment later, the closet door creaks open and then swings open further. The baby swing starts moving briefly. A moment later, something creepy appears in the mirror of the wardrobe door. What is it? But I'd guess that it's what's causing all the chaos. Turn the volume up on this one. Posted to the haunted subreddit. Work at home freak 99 writes, I live alone and this is a motion or light activated camera. That's me just turning off the light and heading off to bed. Now listen. A loud gravelly voice says either help, go, or come. Depending on which Redditor you ask. Personally, I hear the word help in a sort of Yelp fashion. The OP writes, if I had heard that voice, I would have flipped out. They also say the sound came from the kitchen where the camera is set up, because creepy stuff happens there sometimes. Many are saying the voice is creepy AF and sounds like the Cookie Monster. Regardless, this Redditor should probably try their luck with one of the options currently on the board before this monster takes matters into its own hands. Is there a giant panda lurking nearby? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, Flower Sliders writes, took a walk on an abandoned road in rural Japan, saw this, not sure what to make of it. Local friend said he'd never seen anything like it before. The video shows a thick stalk of bamboo shaking dramatically, amongst other bamboo stalks.
Okay, that's weird, right? Why is it moving?
Yeah. Can we go? Why is it doing
You guys not see that down there?
What?
Right there.
I'm not gonna look.
There's nothing.
Okay, why is it still moving?
Can we go?
The rest of the stalks are still, so what is causing this one to shake? Some in the comments think it's the Kadama, spirits in Japanese folklore that inhabit trees. Others think it could be an animal feasting on its roots or burrowing beneath the stalk. Spirits or not, it sure looks creepy. And to think before watching this video, a walk in rural Japan seems so peaceful to me.
Can we go? I'm legitimately out running and getting out. I don't understand. I'm gonna look this up.
Oh, maybe there's something. Wait. Still, no, it's not. It's cut there, so they shouldn't be.
This farmhouse has a paranormal feeling. Published by Ouija Brothers. The brothers are filming when one feels the hanging wallpaper move a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of moved in the LP.
Did you touch it?
I didn't touch it, I didn't move, I was this close away.
I did feel some cold come in though.
Not long after, a strange noise is heard. A second clip taken by the cameraman captures the sound again from a different angle. It clearly wasn't him making the sound.
Okay. That? Is that you?
I think it's the floor.
I was like someone got a marble and rolled it. Okay. Is that you?
I think it's the floor.
Later, they hear a knock and then a creepy voice. They find a cat in the house and then again outside. While the cat is cute and all, the house holds other creatures as well. These ones, not so cute. The enormous spider starts moving, and the brothers quickly wrap things up. While spirits are one thing, spiders are just a bit too much. Parents may especially have trouble watching this dashcam video from Toronto. This father with a baby stroller is about to have the scariest encounter a father could ever experience. He's getting his kid out from some snow when a thoughtless driver goes through a red light and almost takes them both out. The car has some flashing lights on the back, so it could have been an emergency and might explain why they were going so fast. Still, had he been pushing the baby stroller in front of him, this would have been a much different video. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. A fearless ghost hunter named Hassan Barbar takes on a demon in its own home in one of the creepiest paranormal explorations I've seen in a while. First, his Snapchat filter, which uses facial recognition technology, detects a ghost right in front of him. though I suspect it might be falsely detecting a face from this square on the wall. But what the filter could possibly mistake for a face here at 3 minutes and 37 seconds, I have no idea. Maybe it is a ghost. A bizarre trail of flashing dog images does seem to lead him to the real thing, and the extra creepy stuff is all caught on camera.
ما بعرف شو الخيال الظاهر هون. هذا الوضع جدا مخيف. هاي والله فيش.
The demon is in a small cramped room with no exit, and so Hassan Barbar fearlessly charges forward, fearing no demon. He is expected to have caught it up close on camera, but instead the small room is mysteriously empty, despite there being no other path for it to have escaped through besides the doorway through which he came.
عطول وينه؟
He follows the Snapchat filter back to the mysterious square wall, and that's when he sees it again.
طب خليك طب بدي احكي معك انا بدي احكي معك.
He runs outside only to find the demon has disappeared from the other side of the wall. The Snapchat taunts him with further positives for a facial recognition.
لازم نحكي معاه. وين بروح وين بيختفي؟ مش عارف. هاي في إشي حتى هون.
He goes to where the figure was just standing and looks through the wall inside. Sure enough,
طلع في إشي جنبه زي نار.
by now he understands that this jinn can teleport easily and will not be caught today because it simply does not want to be. He leaves for now, sure to be back another day with a plan to draw it even closer next time for a better look at its gruesome face. A YouTuber named For Your Viewing Pleasure just keeps having paranormal problems caught on their outdoor camera. This ladder falls straight over for no reason at all, but you'll never guess what else. Motion sensor lights go off right before it happens. It must be a ghost or the wind. So the question is whether or not wind can set off motion activated lights. Apparently the answer is yes, but only if the sensitivity option is set too high. Since we don't know what this camera settings were, we don't know what was caught on tape, but all I do know is this would be freaky to see outside of my house, that's for sure. A YouTuber named Sonia Said is making a vlog about life in general when she decides to take a rest in the park on a nice Sunday. Big mistake.
I have some guy staring at me in front of me. He's been like holding the tree.
Notice how he lines himself perfectly out of her sight. He could come from behind and she wouldn't be able to see it coming.
What am I doing? You guys are about to see him right now. And I am gonna leave. What a weirdo. There he is. So weird. People are so creepy.
He is definitely facing her way when she decides that she's had enough.
And now we get up and go.
He's still facing her direction long after she goes, arms innocently behind his back like nothing's wrong.
So creepy. People are so creepy.
Now, if this stranger's behavior doesn't make you say bruh, I don't know what will. A man is holding very still with his arm out at an odd angle. That's because he doesn't want to attract the wrath of this dangerous little fellow who somehow slithered into a scary situation. He is helpless as his friend carefully pinches his sleeve to determine where the snake is. He makes a cutting motion with his free hand to tell his friend what to do, not wanting to alert the snake with the vibrations of his voice. Once they carefully cut away the sleeve, you can see the snake is curled around his right bicep and in no hurry to leave. The mouth is right by his arm and it would take less than a second to strike with fangs. They wisely pull open the sleeve with the scissors to distract the snake and get its head away from his arm, but there's not enough room so they need to cut more. By now, the snake is getting upset, so with no time left, they reach in and scoop him out. I guess they could have done that the whole time, but it was much too risky to be a first option. Take a look at its markings and tell me what kind of snake this is. I'm guessing by the way they handle it with such extreme caution that it has to be venomous. Geschmack has a YouTube page full of regular vacation videos and then one creepy paranormal video. This one, an abandoned house he found while exploring a suburb of Los Angeles. There are supposed to be 2 ghost sightings caught on video, but are they real? Let's take a look. A lot of comments say this is an apparition wearing a white dress in the window here. It's hard to see, so you must pay attention. The ghost is wearing some kind of belt sash, like a bridal dress, and she is looking down with her hair over her eyes, or maybe a bride's veil. Can you see it? In reality, I'm pretty sure it's just glare from the sun. This second ghost sighting is much more bizarre and likely to be real. Check out this window at 6 minutes and 13 seconds. Something lifts the curtains and a face is caught in the window for a brief moment. When I point at its all black eye, the rest kind of falls in place. You can see the nose and tight-lipped expression underneath. Definitely not human. And if it's a reflection of something outside, then I don't know what it could be. A devious Dora doll goes exploring this house in a freaky paranormal way. The moving figurine is caught on camera doing some really weird things that probably weren't advertised on the back of the box. Creepy stuff like this. According to the uploader of this video, there were no batteries in this doll when Dora turns to face the camera like she's been caught. You must pay attention, but as one person pointed out, you can see the doll slowly turning its head for about 13 seconds before it snaps. The little girl is too busy singing to notice what's going on, or maybe she's used to it happening by now. Then again, maybe there is somebody behind the door holding the doll in such a way that we can't see their hand.
Oh my, I still gotta see it. Dude, there's this weird thing flying around. Where is it? Right there. Oh my. What is that?
Julia Marie Madness is being driven close to madness by a strange light that she is having trouble explaining. A light that's as interested in her as she is in it. Watch this and tell me if you think it's a camera glitch or something else.
Oh my god, what is that? It's scaring me a little bit. It's like right here.
She's worried about the orb trying to hitch a ride in her car, but some say she should be more worried about it attaching itself to her in a possible possession attempt.
It's like right next to me. It's like right next to me. Dude. Dude, don't come in my car.
Whatever this is, a car's passing headlights does nothing to change the size or appearance of the apparent ghost orb, so it doesn't seem to be a trick of the light. I'm not saying this can't be a glitch, I'm just saying it's very weird, and so as almost everyone else who's seen the full video, it first appears in a flash of pink light, almost like it teleports in from nowhere, or the pink light is just her thumb. It goes away after a while and she can't recreate the circumstances to make it appear again. Chameo, New Mexico is where you'll find the famous Ghost Garage, a paranormal hotspot along the highway where a ghost or two just might climb into your car. This person thinks they have a real paranormal video of a spirit caught on tape in this video. I kind of see what he's talking about, but you really must pay attention, or you'll miss both of these 2 ghost sightings. Do you see their faces? I think I might. Then again, I would like to see the original video without the filter. Only then will we know what these bizarre figures truly are. A paranormal video from Russia follows ghost hunter Sergei Sokolov on an urban exploration that creeps him out. The investigation eventually leads him to what appears to be a recently used altar. Crushed cans rest on 3 points of the evil-looking star, north, west, and southeast, probably where candles are going to soon be burned for a ritual of some kind. But it looks like a summoning ritual might have already been performed when this happens.
Подпишитесь на канал, поставьте под этим видео лайк, напишите комментарий.
They are wrapping up the paranormal video in typical YouTube style when something weird is caught on camera behind him. Some people say this is a possible paranormal entity, but if you pay attention, it looks like it could be a drawing on the wall. But even so, why is only the drawing lighting up? A team of ghost investigators patrol through a dark farmhouse at 3 a.m. and set up their equipment. Suddenly, their thoughts are interrupted by an overwhelmingly powerful force.
Over here. They jump up there.
What's that?
What was that?
An adjacent door flies open soon as they shine their flashlight up into the attic. The team feels like they are being watched from something outside. They're talking about what to do next when they witness another display of brute force.
We get to experience an EVP session in a creepy abandoned house, man.
Something smashes the window out and they see what appears to be a white apparition slowly walking away. The object has no distinct shape and somehow seems to be both near and far at the same time.
What the was that? Holy shit! Somebody out there!
All of them scramble to the car and take one last look as they leave. It's really hard to see, but zoom in on the window and you'll see a head move away on the left side. Let me know if you see what I mean or not. What you are hearing is the heavy breathing of a man who took the lives of 14 people. This message was left on the answering machine of one of his targets during the 70s. It's clear that he's trying to instill as much fear as possible before his next strike. He wants the person and the community at large to know what's going to happen to all of them, and he savors their fear. The message is so over the top that I think most people would have had a hard time believing it was real. But if you ever receive a message like this one, remember that there are people out there who are not fooling around and will hold themselves to their word. Okay, here's a weird one. The closet door in this bedroom keeps opening by itself, but before I even get into that, look what happens with the lamp. Somehow the bulb becomes extremely bright and goes back to normal despite lacking a dimmer switch. After that, the closet door swings open seemingly all by itself. Tell me if you see any signs of human interference here, because I see none whatsoever.
There it goes. And as you can see, there's nothing there.
I thought they were using a hook or something on the bottom right to pull the door open, but when I watched again I saw it was just a power strip running to the lamp. If anything, the door actually moves the strip out of the way, not the other way around. The closet looks too full to hold another item, but who knows what else was in there staring at them from the other side. If the backstory to this video is real, then none of the friends you are looking at here are still alive. Their families gave police permission to release this video in hopes of solving what happened to them. At some point during their final car ride together, they go through a lonesome old tunnel in the middle of a private country road. They don't think much of it until they come across the same tunnel again, and then a third time. They're driving in a straight line and not a circle. Yet this creepy location keeps greeting them as if they never left. It only gets worse when the engine stops working. If you think this video is fake, then please take a moment and tell me how they were able to make it look like their car breaks down.
Just over here, I don't want to sit.
Anyway, not too long after their car stops working, a song skips on the radio and this figure heads straight their way. And when the car works, they go to reverse. You can see the figure immediately appears behind them in return. I think this last part looks like it could be an amateur horror movie, to be honest, but tell me if this part is editing or not, and then we'll know the real truth. A YouTuber named Dagger Production is playing the remastered Call of Duty when he hears someone messing with the entrance to his house. According to Dagger Productions, this is the exact moment the encounter began. Listen closely to this part and you'll hear what sounds like the front door slamming as the person runs away. It sounds like the door slams from the other side of the house, but Dagger Productions returns to his room a second later. He wouldn't be able to slam the far door and get back to the camera that fast if he was just making this up. A YouTuber named JMansVlogs356 was watching a movie. When he hears a noise coming from the basement, he notices that the door, which is normally locked, has somehow become unlocked in the past few minutes. Thinking fast, Jay grabs a large hammer and braces himself for the worst. Soon after, something stops him before he even gets a chance to go down the steps. He claims to have seen a face, and his camera does pick up what could be the head of a tall man staring back at him. According to the description for this video, the police were called and the man was arrested, though there is no proof to back up this story aside from this video evidence. It's 3 in the morning when a YouTuber named QTube hears a knock at his door. He begins recording for his own safety and debates whether or not he should even look outside. Whoever knocked must have immediately ran away and left a package for him to open, which he soon does. I was half expecting some kind of rigged device or something like that, but what's really inside is just as weird. If this video is to be believed, then someone woke up QTube in the middle of the night for no other reason than to give him a pizza box with a gummy pizza inside. It's either the work of someone with a bizarre sense of humor or else totally insane. The whole event leaves QTube cautious and confused. Prank or not, he doesn't exactly seem thrilled about being the target of someone in the middle of the night, and I can't say I blame him. Let me know if you think this was just a harmless joke, or if the next home delivery is going to be much worse. After spending a day at the pool with some friends, a YouTuber named Austin Grash decides to explore his girlfriend's creepy basement for fun. They soon discover her basement area has many secret areas that have gone untouched for quite some time.
No. And look to the right and there's a whole door over there.
Listen, that's not concrete. That's hollow.
A series of hidden passageways leads them deeper and deeper underground until they come across a final creepy red door. At this point, they can't shake the feeling that someone has definitely been down here before. Perhaps even very recently, just when they are talking about what could have possibly taken place down here, they see a bad sign.
I want to know why there's chains right there.
Where?
I
want to know why there's chains everywhere.
If these chains weren't used to shackle somebody in place, then please tell me what they could have been for instead, because honestly, that's the only explanation I have. Eventually, one of them bravely kicks open the mysterious red door to reveal an empty room. There is a cellar door that none of them can pry open, so they give up and head back to the surface. Exactly what is in there is anyone's guess. For all we know, maybe somebody below ground was holding on to the other side. 2 days prior to this video, YouTuber The Series of Tubes' house was broken into. Now he is riding around his neighborhood when he sees a suspicious person who looks out of place. Upon questioning, the man claims that he has lived in this neighborhood since 1992. The two have never met before, but somehow he knows exactly where this YouTuber lives.
Oh yeah, you guys are kind of in that little dark little corner area too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally...
The longer they talk, the less sense the stranger makes, especially when he randomly pulls out a huge crowbar without prompting and says this.
Yeah, I was laying on the sidewalk. You found that? Yeah, just laying around on the sidewalk, right? You know?
Yeah, I could.
The crowbar looks large enough to easily pry open a door or window and gain entry. I'm not sure what his intentions are. Maybe he really did find it laying around, or maybe he is up to no good. Tell me if you believe him when he says this next part, especially with all of the other things I've shown you.
Yeah, you can even ask the cops. I'm a good guy. It's alright.
It's all good.
The series of tubes remains friendly enough throughout the conversation, but does mention that he has a firearm in his house that he doesn't want to use on anyone. The two part ways, at least for now. These mysterious worm-like creatures were allegedly discovered by some dock workers in Germany. According to this video's description, the bizarre creatures were immediately taken to a nearby institution of ocean research but never properly identified. Let me know if you think this is the creature's mouth here. If so, it looks big enough to swallow an arm. This video was taken sometime in 2011, but I couldn't find any follow-up information. If you know anything else about this video, then please let me know if it's real, and if this creature was ever identified.
I think it's alive, but I don't know what it is. It does look like from the top of it like it's breathing or something.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
This is the reaction of a YouTuber named Thomas Wall after he and a friend encounter this strange round mass in the water. They are somewhere in Godridge, Ontario. A person in the video's comments section claims to recognize the location and says it's near a local nuclear power plant. I couldn't find any more information about this, so I'd like to know if there is a power plant nearby and if this could be the result of a nuclear pollution. Either way, I do see what Thomas is talking about when he says air bubbles form at the center of the circle. Let me know if you think this is a living creature or just some sort of naturally occurring optical illusion. This footage was supposedly taken from a submarine lurking somewhere in the Greenland Sea. The crew is so fascinated with a school of fish overhead that they fail to see a much rarer creature directly behind them. A large webbed hand that is roughly 5 times larger than any humans slaps the glass before pushing away. It's almost as if the humanoid creature was toying with the submarine crew and wanted to make its presence known. However, one thing bothers me about this video. If everyone is so interested in the school of fish passing above them, then why is the cameraman focusing on his crewmate's reaction instead of the fish? This video could very well be scripted and CGI, although it also wouldn't surprise me if it really was legitimate. Only the submarine crew knows for sure. A YouTuber named Travis Andrew Barker and his brother were watching the movie Titanic one day when his brother noticed someone in the background who looked completely out of place. Travis wasn't sure if his brother was just messing with him, but as it turns out, he was telling the truth after all.
If you can see right there, we pause the movie and there's Jack and there's Rose. If you look back there, you'll see the Slenderman.
I honestly can't say that I've seen this movie that many times, so I'm not sure how legitimate this sighting is. If you are familiar with the movie and recognize the scene, then please let me know what is going on here and explain who this mysterious background character is. If nobody can come forward with details, then this very well may be the first Slenderman sighting in a Hollywood movie. A YouTuber named Frostbitten looks out his window one evening and sees what he thinks is Slenderman peering up at him from below.
It is. Right there.
You can see it much better when he moves away from the screen door.
Oh crap. Oh crap.
I do see what he's talking about, and so do some other viewers in the comments section. I can't tell for sure, but it looks like something with a pale head and long arms might be looking up at him. I can't really make out if it's wearing a suit or standing behind the tree. Then again, maybe this human-like shape is simply light reflecting off of the woods. Let me know if you can see what Frostbitten is talking about, and if you agree with him or not. This surveillance footage looks like it was taken on an academic campus of some sort. The security camera is glitching out and skipping frames, which is supposed to be a clear indication that Slenderman is near. Look closely here, and you can see a transparent figure in the upper left. Then, without warning, a tall figure is suddenly looming over a young boy. Slenderman yanks the boy high into the air by both arms, and then the video quickly cuts off. I noticed in the bottom right corner that this camera was marked Camera 01, but I wasn't able to find footage from any of the other cameras. If somebody recognizes this location, then maybe we can do some more precise investigating. and get to the bottom of this mysterious sighting. Two friends are riding around in the country when they come across an old house that gives off a strange feeling. They have nothing better to do, so they decide to investigate the old wooden structure in search of adventure. They are still outside of the house when their camera starts to mess up, a clear sign that Slenderman is near. They don't think much of the electronic disturbance and continue to poke around the perimeter. Eventually, they find a doorless entrance and step inside, and that's when things go terribly wrong. Something bad seems to have wrecked this house. It's trash from the inside, and a part of it has collapsed in ruins. They aren't in there for long before they decide they've seen enough and want to leave. But when they go for the exit, something goes for them.
Oh shit!
Slenderman reaches for them, and the sound cuts out on the camera as they scramble for a different exit. They barely make it out alive. According to many believers, this still frame is the closest anyone's ever come to capturing Slenderman's true form. The Pope is making one of his famous balcony appearances. He looks completely normal while waving to an adoring crowd below. I see him at the window in a dark room behind him, completely three-dimensional, right? Well, explain this.
Dude, is it not? He's gone.
Oh my! When played frame by frame, it kind of seems like a hologram. He doesn't go deeper into the room, he just turns off. This was broadcast on live news, and I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference unless someone pointed it out to me. I don't know if they are doing this for security purposes or what, but it's creepy. I can only wonder how many other times we have been looking at not a famous person, but rather their perfect duplicate image. A YouTuber named You Want Sun catches an eerie moment on live TV when this news anchor has a problem unlike any I've seen. She sounds normal the entire time, but she starts blinking excessively, followed by this.
Is reporting a record turnout at this point. Nevada and Nebraska are also showing that Democrats are getting a jump on early voting. In Washington, I'm Susan Roberts. Ron and Mary.
Pause.
I've seen videos where both eyes change into a creepy off color before, but I've never seen a video where one eye stays the same and one eye does whatever this is. Also, they cut away from her as soon as it happens, which makes Yuwat's son wonder what exactly happened here. I think it's possible, but I'm not sure, so I'd like to get your thoughts. Was this a glitch or something way worse? Mysterious, unexplained lights were recently sighted over Brazil, just north of Rio de Janeiro. The diagonal formation of strange lights stretches into the night sky and blinks in and out of sight. It's not a constellation because there are no stars in the sky. Just these strange, unexplained lights that slowly move to the right and glow a fierce red when the camera zooms in. As the camera moves across the city to show there are no stars, they see more strange lights in the sky. These ones closer to Earth, a large column of lights at 56 seconds that should not be there at all. It looks like it could be a building, but according to them it's not. More lights seem to drop and lower to the ground, but it's too far away to tell. When he zooms out, he is surprised to find most of the skylights are already gone. This happened on June 24th of 2020, and if you're wondering why I was never reported on the news, maybe it's because we were never supposed to find out. A person is walking through the forest when a strong feeling of paranoia guides them to this moss-covered opening. They can sense something odd is near, but only when watching the video later do they realize how close it really was. A broad face with a wild flat nose and open mouth stares back at them. This is a troll caught on camera, says the internet, but the alleged troll sighting looks more like a natural formation in the bark. so I can't say that I agree. A family outing is interrupted when an unknown object floats towards them, barely noticeable at first if not for its shimmering color and odd movements just beneath the surface. As they curiously approach, they can see it's not an object floating underwater, but rather an unidentified creature, an unknown worm-like blob that makes one of them turn away in fear. This is his real reaction caught on camera. Tell me what language this is and what's being said so we know where this video was taken from. At 37 seconds, a brave family member tries to grab it with their bare hands, and back underwater the creature goes. They claim to have a second video which, as of this time, has yet to be uploaded. According to them, the bottom of the creature has a face with one dark eye. Hopefully they upload part 2 of this creature sighting soon, so we can all see it. It looks real so far, but I will reserve my final analysis until then.
What is that, dude?
A single strange light in the sky has a YouTuber named Jesse Tablebeast looking up with curiosity and horror.
Yeah, it's definitely flying, whatever it is.
He and his friend decide to drive towards this strange blinking light and investigate what it could be. This still image taken at 4 minutes and 58 seconds gives us a better look at it. A disc-like object floating in the air. There's an intense light coming from the bottom and also a small circular dome on top. They don't know what it is and neither does anyone else. A minute later, they are at the source of the light, which is much larger now but still just as unexplained. They think the light is coming from a nearby power plant, but it's too dark and rainy to tell, so they go home without knowing for certain. This light, while bizarre, might be from a busted power generator, but if that were the case, then you'd think the light would be low to the ground and constant. The light is high in the air. Tell me what you think it is. A YouTuber named Crossover likes to play basketball, but we all know that's not why he's on this list. He lives in a house on the edge of some woods that are known to be haunted, at least if you believe what's about to happen to him next. Crossover goes inside of his dad's workshop to talk more about his plans for the channel.
You know, I have had channels in the past, but you know, I kind of scrapped them. They were a little bit weird, and I didn't even know what was going on.
And behind him, one of his dad's tools rolls off the shelf. Crossover wonders how the object moves all by itself.
Get over here.
And a scary voice tells Crossover to come back as soon as he goes off camera. He thinks this is a ghost EVP because he says he was in the workshop alone. However, the voice could have been edited and someone could have been hiding under the shelf to make the object look like it was pushed by a ghost. Here's a freaky sighting. Imagine you're playing guitar with your friends when something decides to pay a visit. Published by Navigon in November of 2007, this creepy video shows some dudes practicing in a bedroom. One is playing the guitar, the other is singing, and the third is recording the session. But as it turns out, there's a fourth uninvited guest nearby. As they continue to play, the friend filming the session takes a broader shot of the singer, and towering in the doorway behind him is a seemingly tall man, standing sentry and staring into the room. In the comments of this video, David F.E. writes, "It's a humanoid being about 7 feet tall, not a ghost. Many people have reported them before." Whatever the case, in the moment, the friend filming doesn't spot the humanoid. The three continue their session without any reaction, and the next time the cameraman pans over, the figure is gone. They must have spotted the humanoid later in the playback, a humanoid that was so close he could have touched them. What would you do if you saw this over your friend's shoulder? Have you ever filmed a video for your significant other, only to see something paranormal happen behind you? This video appears to show a military man sending a message to his girlfriend or wife, a woman named Trish, telling her he wishes he could be home with her. That's not the scary part, obviously. What's scary is what happens in the background. As he's filming his loving message, what appears to be a sweatshirt on the bed behind him moves of its own accord. And it's not just a small twitch, it's like someone is temporarily inside the sweatshirt. The movement is enough to catch the guy's attention. He looks over his shoulder, but that's when the fear is maxed out within him.
Trish, I love you. I wish I could be home with you too. I know we...
As the cupboard doors beside him burst aggressively open, the man, plainly disturbed by this strange occurrence, gets up and looks around the cupboard and inside before fleeing the scene. Once he's left, one of the cupboard doors swings nearly closed. What is happening here? What is haunting this room? The ghost of a forgotten trooper? With just this video footage, I guess we'll never know. This is what happens when your doll comes to life. Posted on the Ghosts subreddit by Redditor, Enigma's Light 209, who writes, "Years ago my sister had a Dora doll. However, we never put batteries in it because at the time we couldn't afford a lot of stuff. My sister was singing and playing with the doll. Not noticing the doll turns its head to look at her. The clip is creepy enough to give you nightmares. The user's sister is in the bathroom, singing and playing at the sink. Her doll is perched beside her, motionless and staring off to the right. About 15 seconds in, the doll's head suddenly turns, looking directly at the camera and into our souls. Nothing more happens in the video, but the way the doll's head snaps around is reminiscent of a bad Child's Play-like scenario. My advice, destroy that doll immediately. Fire would probably be the best." What would you do if the downstairs lights of a supposedly empty building next door kept turning on and off? Redditor JC1 posted this video to r/ghosts, writing, "The model apartment next door to mine has a 10-minute timer on all the lights, so every time the front door is open, the lights automatically turn on. When I showed the video to the maintenance men, they said they got chills and had to go buy some salt and candles." This video shows the lights switching on and off of their own accord. Well, not altogether unexplainable, it is unnerving. Some in the comments of this video suggested faulty wiring or a bad sensor. A union electrician says this is pretty common in model houses, as they're not built well. Others get scared by something moving, which turns out to be a tree branch. But the question remains, what if someone or something is opening the front door? The maintenance men are right, it's time for some salt and candles. Now you see it, now you don't. Published in December of 2017. This video begins with a man speaking Arabic. No translation or subtitles are included, so we can't tell you what he's talking about as he stands outside what appears to be a normal door with an elaborate gold door frame. Over a minute into the video, he opens the door to what appears to be a normal dining room. Speaking the whole while, he enters the room and shuts the door, giving a tour of the room, which is empty. He tries opening another door on one side of the room, but it's locked tight, so he enters further in what appears to be a living room. There are toys inside, a car with a doll in it, but nothing appears to be out of the ordinary. That is, until he turns to film the other side of the room and pans back to the car. No more doll. He doesn't seem to panic, and it's hard to tell if he even noticed. He continues to wander around the room. Well, nothing more disturbing appears to happen in the duration of the video. The man must have experienced something frightening towards the end. As fear is heard in his voice, his camera drops and he rushes out of there. What was happening in this room? I don't know if I want to know. This video features an exorcism in action as the man wails demon-like in the background. A Russian Orthodox priest places a holy book under his head and reads the ritualistic prayers or blessing. While patting the possessed man on the chest, the man jerks and squawks, baring his teeth. As the priest continues his duty without flinching, he begins to shake his head back and forth, pale as a ghost, a blank expression on his face, and then he is still. The priest lifts his head into view of the camera as he continues to perform the exorcism, pressing something to the man's forehead. The man's eyes are rolled into the back of his head, leaving only the whites of his eyes in view, a very disturbing image. He then closes his eyes and later whispers something to the priest. The footage ends shortly thereafter, and it's unclear if the exorcism was successful or not, but if you didn't believe in demonic possession before, after watching this video, you might just find yourself a believer. Everyone wants to feel safe and alone in their own home. What happens when you find out you're not? Posted to YouTube in June of 2019, the YouTuber writes, "Man finds creature in ceiling crawl space that apparently laughs at him." The man in the video explains that he's not a believer in the supernatural, he's a skeptic, but sitting alone on the couch in his home that day, he started hearing a noise coming from the roof or the ceiling. He said he could hear it in the light in his living room, so he decided to investigate. In a closet in his home, there's a small hole, big enough to stick a camera through, but it doesn't look quite large enough for a normal-sized human to squeeze through. When he does get his camera up there, you can see your normal everyday attic crawl space, but over in the corner, in the darkness are two large orbs, a pair of eyes. He sticks the camera back up there, and the eyes appear for a second again, before blinking closed, as he asks the creature what it is, expecting a response from what looks to be an animal. A child or a toy's doll laughter rings through the darkness. Is Chucky in this man's attic, or does that raccoon simply have a very strange cold?
Squirrel? Raccoon? Oh, it closed its eyes. Oh my god. Oh my god! That's
One thing's for sure, you don't want to hear that laughter coming from anywhere in your home. We've all been warned never to pick up hitchhikers, but that advice especially goes for paranormal ones. This dash cam footage was posted in July of 2019. The dash cam's clock shows that the clip was taken around 2 in the morning. If you blink, you'll miss it, so pay careful attention. Driving down a dark and empty highway, the car is traveling at a fairly fast speed when, off to its right, in the empty lane, appears a figure. Some say it has its thumb out for a ride. Do you see it? Is it a ghost? Or is it just a regular person with a bad wish? After all, who hails a ride in the middle of the road during the darkness of night? Only someone who's looking to get run over, or at least doesn't mind testing fate, whether ghost or real boy. This isn't something you want to see while driving down a dark road at 2 a.m. It might very well send you into a terrified tailspin, making you the next ghost on the highway. This one would certainly wake you up at night, and probably wouldn't let you go back to sleep. Posted by Awesome Narwhal to Reddit, he writes, "Saw a post about lightning and decided to share my own." The very short 3-second clip shows a lightning bolt blaze just outside the window, reaching what appears to be a tree off to the left. The entire tree lights up, not unlike the electrified burning bush from the earlier entry. This is such a scary act of nature that it almost makes you want to feel the heat yourself. But that is certainly not a good idea. A ghost voice drifting from deep inside a tunnel is something that nightmares are made of. That's what Amy Dancing Again posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit under the title, "Ghost Voice at WW2 Oil Storage Tunnels in Darwin, NT, Australia." Although the acoustics of this tunnel have been called haunting, our research uncovered no further reported paranormal activities in the tunnels, although they seem like the perfect setting for them. The tunnels were built to protect oil. Japan went after the city of Darwin no less than 64 times during this time frame, ending in 1945, with only 6 of the 11 tunnels completed. The tunnels were then opened to the public in 1992, which is how this Redditor came to explore them. They were the only people in the tunnel, as they arrived early. Another Redditor wrote in the thread that the way the camera moves when you hear the voice makes the video seem legit. What is this voice saying? I just can't seem to make it out. If you ever question the paranormal, maybe test your skepticism with this video. This footage was captured in the Czech Republic and posted in January of 2012. The uploader writes, "This footage will prove once and for all ghosts exist." The clip shows a snowy road in the darkness of night. A car is stalled in the road as blizzard-like conditions swirl all around. Then in front of it, a semi-transparent figure appears. There is a glow at the top of what would be its head, like a flame. It stops in the middle of the camera's purview before disappearing again. Some in the comments note that the thing, whatever it is moving in the opposite direction as the wind and the snow. Commenter Denise M. Sanders suggests it was a person who was hit while crossing the road and passed away on the scene. Many agree that this looks like legit paranormal activity. What do you think? Thank you so much for getting me to 20,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 30,000 subscribers next. Thank you.